Lil Lotus's debut album, Error Boy, drops digitally on the 20th of this month via Epitaph Records. He joins us now. Mr. Lotus, thank you for speaking to the faction.
Thanks for having me.
Your look and your sound, for me, is such a composite of many things. Is it exhausting having so many different body parts and different boxes?
Yeah, it is.
What's
It's
the
very
origin
hard.
of so many? What is the origin of all of these different elements?
I don't know. I just love everything. I don't know. I like everything.
Is it difficult to go out in public?
Not in LA. In LA, it's pretty normal, but
Have you
I'm
ever
from
been to
Texas.
somewhere backwards? Have you ever been to somewhere? Have you been to Little Rock, Arkansas with your current look and had some stares?
I have been to Little Rock. I don't really remember the stairs. At this point, I just really don't even catch it. But I've had like tons of girlfriends like where they're like, everyone's looking at you and it makes them mad. And I'm like, I don't care. Like you shouldn't care. Like they're just looking at me. I would probably look crazy to them. And even when like I'm from Texas and I started off looking like this like already. I grew up like in the hood in Texas, and I was still wearing skinny jeans and cut like crazy colored shirts and like all kinds of crazy hair. And I just always looked different from everybody. And uh, people like pointed out then and shit like that, but I guess I still didn't care. It was just my whole thing. And then I came to LA, and then it's just like so normal. Like it's like whatever. And then I moved back to Texas when I was living in Texas again. Like after living there for a while, I realized like how different. Like I didn't realize the contrast like until I went back. And then like I would, even when I would just like wear something normal, like I'd just run to the store and I'm like, shit, like I don't have like a clean shirt right now. I forgot to do laundry. I just like throw on like a normal white shirt and some jeans and some tennis shoes. And I go out and I'm like, here, let's like run to the store. And then like I'm like, my girl's like, people like still stare at you when you look normal, like you dressed normal and you still look like ridiculous to everybody. And I was like, I don't know why. Like she's like, well, look at your face, like it's covered in tattoos, like you're covered in tattoos, like head to toe. Like you can't wear flip flops without seeing your tattoos. Like it's just like shit like that. And so I was like, well, yeah, that's one thing. And but I don't know. It's just I'm like I don't care at this point. I'm just used to it, and LA just makes it so much easier.
Were these girlfriends supportive of your music too?
Yeah, I have to say like every girlfriend I've had has been very supportive of my music.
Because it's an interesting sound, and I'm interested to know how someone like John Feldman got involved with this project. So John Feldman, for those unaware, he's a really big figure in the pop punk emo scene, working with Blink 182, The Used, I believe, Panic at the Disco, and there's going to be a lot more, I'm sure. How did he get involved?
Um, well, I like worked on some stuff like where I was talking about. I was showing the label, and they're like, it was more band sounding stuff, and I was like, I want Lotus to be a band. I've said this for a while. Like, I want Lotus to like travel with a band. Like, I don't want to just be just me and a DJ, all the time. Like, maybe sometimes I'll travel with like drums and a DJ. But like I don't want to just be just me on stage. Like I want that live band energy. And
And he could create that for you on record.
Oh, dude, he can do anything. And freaking Brett from Epitaph was like, have you ever worked with Feldman? Like you should work with Feldman. Like he's like, dude, like he's like, I know him from like from back in the day. So he's like, let me hit him up and see if he wants to like run a few sessions and see how it goes. And so we did that, and then we're like, yeah, let's fucking do the album. Made the album happen, and then it was just like, I don't know, it just came together.
Were you surprised with what he was able to bring and what he could bring out of you?
I wasn't surprised at what he was able to bring. Like I was well aware of what he could bring. Like, but I was very surprised of like brought me out of like a wouldn't say I was in a shell, but I would also say that I would say that I didn't realize that there was still another layer. Like so like it would be like he's like how do you like writing and stuff? And he would give me top line stuff, and I was like, oh, like trying to like work with it or whatever. And it's John Feldman, and then like day 1 and day 2, he's like, oh yeah, Travis is gonna be in here, and he's gonna track, drums. And so I'm like, oh, the pressure's on, let's go. Like, don't like hold back now.
So was that a coincidence that Travis Barker was in the studio and that's how he got involved in this album? Is that right?
No one fucking told me that he was coming until I got there, and then Feldman's like, yo, Travis is gonna be here. And I was like, Travis who? Like thinking like of all my homies that I know, because it's like he says it like on first name basis. I'm trying to think like, oh, he must know like my homie like Travis Richter, or he must know like Travis, like picture playing Travis, like, or you might know like, I'm thinking of all my Travis friends.
No, he means the best like, drummer of this generation. That's who he means.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, Travis Barker, like you just casually say it like that, okay, like sick. Like I don't even have a verse written, like. Yeah. Like am I gonna have anything to like for him to like play on, like? And so it was really like he's like well, how do you usually write? And I'm like, in my, like at one point it was just in my room by myself. Then when boyfriends came around, it was like we were very like, okay, go up there and like freestyle something, or like, do you have something? Like, okay, then I'll go cut it. And so like that definitely prepared me for situations like that. And then John Feldman was just like, do you have anything? I was like, no. He's like, why don't you go play with some melodies? And I was like, all right, I'll just go in there and like start doing the whole thing. And then, then that's how we did every single song. Like I was just like, I don't have anything, but once we're done like figuring out the song, like, I'll go in there and I'll just like start cutting things. And then it was just like smooth sailing, like one after the other, after the other, after the other.
My guest on the faction is Lil Lotus. His debut album, Era Boy, drops on the 20th of this month. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say ahead of the release of the album, and anything you'd like to tell us before we hit play on it for the first time?
Fucking stream that album, show it to your friends in Australia. I'm going to be in you soon.
Lil Lotus, congratulations on the debut album. It's been great speaking to you. Thank you for joining us here on The Faction.
Thank you so much.